shoot straight from the hip.
Yeah, you know I'm always shooting straight from the hip.
Let's take a trip around the curve.
Out the water.
What are you doing, you guys?
Good. How are you?
I just want you to see my shirt.
I see it.
Nice.
And I wore Elect More Women shirt when I talked to the girls.
Oh,
I love that. Thank you.
yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I want to congratulate you guys on your Emmy Award for Boys State. I saw that one as well. And I'm always so intrigued by these types of projects because they reach out to our younger contingency and make them a little more accountable for the world that they're going to live in after we're no longer here, right? And I'm from Missouri, so I was like, oh, and it was a more liberal state when I was growing up there as compared to what it is now. So I'm just wondering, how did you discover what Girl State was, and how did you get to that place?
Missouri is a pretty interesting state. You're right. It's not a battleground state anymore. It's pretty firmly red, but it's actually pretty diverse politically. It's got Cori Bush and Josh Hawley and everything in between. And it's got the big cities at either end. It's got rural communities and suburban communities. So it actually offered a lot politically. But I think getting buy-in from Missouri Girl State, which has a big, vibrant program. Amanda and I didn't go to Boy State or Girl State growing up. We didn't know much about it until we discovered it. We thought, what an interesting space to explore young people and how they're sort of thinking about the world they're going to inherit and how dysfunctional our politics are in the adult state, and do they do politics differently, and will they kind of save our democracy? So I think Boy State was successful enough that it gave us this daunting opportunity to try to make this companion film. We call it a sibling, not a sequel.
But they also built this third branch of government, which did not happen in Texas Boy State. And I actually don't know if other Girl State programs around the country also don't have a Supreme Court, but in Missouri, they do. And so for me, I think for us, was really interesting to watch how the abortion case, if there was going to be an abortion case, it would make it through the lower courts and then up to the Supreme Court within Girl State, have an all-female Supreme Court deliberating that case, that it wasn't a moral debate, it was actually a legal debate. And that was a fascinating way to step into the abortion conversation with these highly motivated, highly politically savvy kids. Because that's really what was going on in Roe v. Wade, is like, it's a question of privacy. And that's fascinating to watch these girls grapple with. It's beyond the emotions of it. What's the intellectual conversation?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because in this country, these young ladies have been growing up as teenagers in a country where we've never seen a female president. We've seen people run for president that were women, but we've never seen one actually go all the way. We've slowly seen women's rights and reproductive rights in particular go backwards by 50 years. Are you both confident that the Girl State program will ignite a fire in our youth to pick up the torch and have them become more active in our political landscape from both sides of the aisle?
I do, but I'm an optimist, and I tend to always see, like, I'm a realist too. I see we're in a ridiculous situation of representation, and that's across all the sort of, we are not reflecting the population of the United States in any of the ways that we need to, right? So this has been the project of America that's slowly, but too slowly, correcting itself. But so women in particular in that conversation, just the 28% kind of thing that we're hitting, and that's including, by the way, the state government. So Missouri legislature is also stuck at that. And that matters when people are voting the sort of trigger law, that then has serious consequences. Well, I don't know what a 50% female representation body would have, what laws they would have created. I can't say one way or the other because we don't know. But that's a frustration I feel like is very real. It's not just a frustration, it's a bad reality. And to me, I'm a filmmaker. What can I do? Well, I can make films that have better representation. And so for me to make a film of all females who are, it is a simulation, but they are presenting themselves in passionate ways, in roles of leadership. And like, we've had screenings where we see 13-year-old kids, girls, seeing this movie, being inspired by these 17-year-old girls who are not only, doing great by being smart and knowledgeable and pushing hard, but also they're vulnerable and they share their feelings and their fears, and they're human and they're relatable in ways that a 13-year-old can see, oh, that's like me. Like I'm like that. And I think that representation in sort of what we do matters too. And so that's the little work corrective that I can do. It's small, but hopefully helpful.
Listen, representation matters. And if I grew up in Missouri and had no idea that there was a girl state, had I known that, my life would be very different. And I probably would be sitting here having this conversation with you in a different position, professionally. So I thank you for bringing it to the masses, because it matters that girls, women, teens, whatever, and boys too, are able to see what the possibilities look like and what is possible, and not listen to that negativity that's out in the world and the chatter telling them what they can and can't do, or how they should and should not feel. So I thank both of you from the bottom of my heart for this, because representation really, really, really matters. I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about collaborating with T. Griffin on the musical direction for the doc, because I read something about at some point you guys decided to include Taylor Swift, which I think was super smart, because she's been so vocal regarding our democracy in this country. So if you guys wouldn't mind speaking to that for a little bit, I'd appreciate it.
So if there's sort of like maybe three musicians that I feel like really unify our country in a certain way. So Taylor Swift, Beyonce, and maybe Dolly Parton. It's just like,
those are really three good examples. Yeah.
It's magic and it's wonderful to watch. And I told that to one of my daughters. We have two teenage daughters, and she was like, when she saw a rough cut of the film, she was giving us notes, and she's like, I liked it. I liked it. But where was the Taylor Swift songs? She's like, she was really bummed. So anyway, fast forward to we needed a credit song, and we felt that song in particular. We used the song "The Man," and it's such a powerful song, because when you first hear it, it's a pop song. I mean, it has those qualities, but the words are epic. I mean, they're very powerful, and it was so appropriate for our film. And fortunately, they said yes to letting us license it. And so, but we're very, very, very lucky that that's part of our film.
Just to add something about Todd, our longtime collaborator, I think the beautiful job he did is you see that the music and the story move from that sort of like fluffy, space where the girls are kind of frustrated. It's sort of like campy and Todd sort of evokes that musically, but then the film gets serious, and he finds the musical register that I think draws out the emotion and the narrative energy of the story as things kind of get going. And I think that's the beautiful transition that he had to make. And he's so infinitely patient. I can't tell you how much torture we put him through to get there. We're lucky he still works with us, but he's just wonderfully talented. So we feel lucky to have Todd and Taylor.
Amanda and Jesse, thank you so, so much for your time today. I've been dying to talk to you guys about this documentary. It is fire. I'm a big fan of your work. You guys are the dynamic duo. I watched The Mission. Like, I'm a fan and a friend. And so I followed y'all on IG. Let me know what you're doing so that I can support you moving forward.
Thanks, Carla. Yeah.
Great to talk to you.
Yeah, really nice to talk to you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm not stalking you, but yeah. But I kind of am.
I'm glad you talked to the girls too. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I need a well-rounded story, dears.
Yeah. They're great. I mean, we like if we're on stage together, I'm like, just talk to them. They're like amazing. And this is true of the boys too. Like, those people need to be talking to people. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Carla.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.